Welcome back to Chat Lab. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ethan. This is the podcast where thoughts are tested.
Today we're going to be getting into a documentary that we watched called The Social Dilemma on Netflix. We both watched it. We went away, watched it ourselves, and we're just going to talk about it on the podcast here now so that we can, get a greater understanding.
Yeah, we have yet to compare notes
media.
on the situation, so this is going to be interesting to see what our takes on different things are inside the movie. If you haven't watched it yourself, I'd highly recommend to go check it out either now or after the podcast, whatever. It's definitely just worth the watch in general.
Yeah, it's kind of like movie mixed with documentary.
Yeah, you could probably listen to our opinion and then still watch it. You know, it's like a little bit of cinematics.
There's no spoilers really.
Nah, yeah, really. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so no worries about that. But what you get up to this week? I don't know.
Actually, yeah. Speaking of which, feel like we should address our recording situation.
Okay, go on.
Right. So, what's been happening for the past 3 to 4 weeks is Evan went down for college, so we can't record in person. So we decided, we'll just record on Thursday like we usually would in person and upload it on the day, which is perfectly fine. You know, that was working because we scheduled time to record it and went out of our way to record it so that it couldn't be interrupted. And then now it started. And
it's crazy because I'd go to your house every Thursday at between 1 and 2. And we'd record that day.
Like clockwork, yeah, but it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
even your parents were like, oh, so you're back again. It's become a weekly thing at this stage, has it? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So we used to record on the Thursdays.
Yeah.
And then after Evan went home, we still tried to do that, but then it managed to be so Evan's getting work done in his house, so there's a lot of noise during the daytime, which would have been an ideal recording
sawing
situation.
and drilling, and then aside from that, I've got college, and so does Ethan.
Yeah.
And then as well as that, we've got Ethan's personal life, my personal life, and then the fact that my internet goes at random times during the day, and it usually gets worse in the evening. So if we waited till the evening, there's a good chance it would go.
Yeah, that, and when you push something off into the evening, it usually gets overlapped by something you already planned on your personal life.
Yeah.
And then that got extended. We did it at Saturday one stage. We talked about that the other podcast that week. We started doing it on Fridays, and then it came to, what was it? Was it Friday we were gonna do it on?
I think we were trying Thursday, but we were we'll just do it tomorrow. And then Friday, we had just started recording, I think.
Yeah.
And then
that's right.
Or I'm pretty sure it was
it was Friday.
And then we were 2 minutes in. We had just started getting into what we were doing that week. And there was just a really loud drill.
Yes, so that made the whole operation they had to pack it up, I guess.
Yeah, so we kind of were like, okay, well, we'll just leave it. And then Ethan said, what we'll do is we'll leave it this week. And we'll record on Monday or Tuesday. So that gives us those 2 days. And even worst comes to worst, we've got Wednesday as a backup. And we upload it on Thursday as normal. So chances are we won't be uploading late again for a long while.
Yeah. I feel like if we get a schedule in place, we can probably start doing it on Mondays. But having those 3 days is the main reason for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we stopped. We didn't upload one last week because we want to start this new cycle of recording to make it easier for us to record it and then more reliably get it up every week for everybody.
Yeah, and it felt like this topic and what we're talking about today and all that, it seemed kind of like a good start with this new schedule because we really wanted to do this episode, and then with the new schedule it kind of all just works together, so we decided on this. So that's kind of our plan.
Yeah, so getting back to what did I do this week? Well, not really much really. I mean, I got 2 things from Amazon because Prime Day was last week, as you know.
I got loads of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not much of a buyer really, but I got a new camera because I need one for my online classes when I'm taking tests and things. Purpose of using it when you're taking a test is so you can't talk to other people while it's going on. So I can't be on a Discord call with my friends while taking a test, I guess. And then the other thing I got was LED strips. I got LED strips, and I'm so happy with them. I got 2 5-meter strips, and I would just wire them up yesterday, and they are a game changer. Like, I'm telling you, the attitude I had last week. I have a maths lecture from 4 to 5, or from 5 to 6. And after an hour break, especially because what I have is I have a maths practical from 3 to 4, and then I have an hour break and then another maths lecture. So what happens is I do the maths practical. I'm like, oh, it's great doing maths, yada yada yada, and then I have the hour off to do whatever I want. And usually I don't take that hour for work. I take it for myself because I need it after a long day. And I find it so hard usually to get back into working. But with the lights now, I can have like a certain color. Like right now they're yellow because yellow is like a relaxing color apparently. It's just apparently the best color for relaxation. Placebo or not. If it's placebo, it's working. That's how it is. And then purple, because it's mostly blue light, but blue light I find too harsh. I put purple on for when I'm working, and it's as it starts to get dark outside because it's going into winter, it starts getting more and more purple in the room, and I kind of like fuck with it. And for the last hour lecture I had, it actually helped me continue until 7 doing my studies rather than stopping at like 5:55 or whatever to just end it all. That's on yeah. But yeah,
I like that.
So that was my
purple.
2 investments for this week, which is great. Nothing much else happened this week. Don't think. Next week I have reading week, which is the college equivalent of midterm break. I don't. The first years in LIT, anyways, do not get it, but the rest of them do, because they started 2 weeks late on top of us starting late. So we can afford one, which I thank God, because I have so much work right now. Like the overloading work is insane. And I guess that's kind of my week. I do have 2 tests tomorrow, one at 10 and one at 2.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Is that one of the ones you need your camera for?
Yes, I might need them for both, but I'm not sure. I know the second test I have is open book, which is fine, and the first test I have isn't open book. Well, I'm kind of comfortable with the topic that we're doing, so it's okay. But yeah, I think I'm rambling here, but yeah, that's kind of been my week, really. It's just a lot of work, and it's been stressful, and I'm trying to balance everything, and it's fucking hard, dude.
Yeah,
nobody
balance it by getting
about
LED
how hard
lights.
college is. Like they go like, oh, like, I don't know. Nobody
college
really...
is the best time of your life. It's so fun.
Yeah, that's all I get. You don't get like you can't have a social life if you want to do well. That's never addressed.
I don't. If I wasn't at home and like for this entire thing, and I had to be running around campus and all, like, I wouldn't have a social life until after 4 or 5 at least, pretty much the entire day. I might be able to meet up with someone for coffee for an hour, but like that's about it. And it wouldn't be the full hour because I'd have to run to my lecture hall. Like,
I guess doing online classes helps with integrating a social life into a virtual workspace kind of thing. Whereas, if we had it in college on campus, it would just be a lot harder.
Yeah, I don't think it would be like, and the thing is that I think is that like my campus is a lot more spread out, and my course is a lot more spread out, whereas yours is kind of, it seems very centralized, so you wouldn't have to be running around like half or the full way across a campus that's like massive.
Yeah,
so
I get what
it's
you
a
mean.
bit better. Like, I thankfully though, like, I remember my brother had a couple times where he had like a lecture on UCC campus and then had another one like at like one right after the other, like a couple, I guess you could say, like 10 blocks down the road or something, like at least like a 10-15 minute walk or maybe or something like that. So he had to leg it to the next one so he could get there in time. Like, I wouldn't like to do that. I know that's not necessarily social life, but you know what I mean.
Campus.
It wouldn't be as fun.
Can hold you back sometimes.
I didn't get up to much I got Amazon stuff. I got more than you, but that's because I'm very bad with Prime Day things like that. So
Well, when there's a deal, you have to buy it, kind of thing.
not always, but
More than me.
If I want something, chances are 90% of the time I'm gonna get it. Because it's like if I have the funds, and I'll have enough funds left over to, save me from a rainy day, I'll be okay. Like if it's coming up to Christmas now, like I wouldn't go out and buy myself a PS5, like because then I'd have no money for anybody else. Not that I can buy a PS5, but you know what I mean.
For reference.
Yeah, I can't. And even if I wanted to, I'd have no money for anything else personally or for anybody else for Christmas or birthdays or just life,
being alive
really, in general. Yeah, being alive. So yeah, I got LED strips as well. Got a couple cool things that I wanted for a while. I finally got an Alexa. It didn't work. Never mind. Okay, yeah. I got an Echo. I got an Echo Dot. I didn't start her speaking there or listening or whatever by saying that, thankfully.
Activate.
That would have been activate, there you go. That would have been a long sentence. But I got one of them. That was good. And then I also got like in the same pack, because it was like a Prime Day deal, you could get like a plug, like an Amazon plug, so you can, be like Echo. I'm just gonna say Echo, because if I say the keywords or whatever, then it's just gonna, yeah. Anyway, I can just say turn on the lights, and then it will turn on the LED lights, which is really cool to me. So I like that a lot. I had a test just there, before the podcast. Did well. Happy with myself. Let's go. It was my first test of college life. Yeah. I have a bit of a, I know we did this like a couple of weeks ago, but I have a bit like of a different approach to study now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, college affects that, because you're not just trying to remember it. A lot of it is actually like learning how to do something, like knowing how to do something and applying it rather than learning a list.
Yeah, you see, when we talked about that, you kind of took the charge because you were like a study bot when it came to the Leaving Cert, and you do loads of work compared to me. Like I wouldn't be able to put my head down the way you do. And
one word for
now that I've actually started studying, like what I do is I get draw board PDF. So it's like I told you about this. It's like, it's like PDFs, but you can draw on it. You can do it with your mouse, and you can underline and highlight and all that stuff.
Oh man, I'd love a drawing tablet. How expensive are they?
The one I got, I think it was anywhere between 40 and 60.
Right, so that's kind of affordable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the biggest one. It's not the best.
How big would you say it is, like in terms of your phone? Let's say.
In terms of my phone, hold on now. It's about, if you put 4 phones next to each other.
Really?
Like as in, so it's 2 of my phone vertically and 2 of my phone horizontally. If that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
You know what it is? If you had the phone landscape.
Yeah.
And you put 4 of them around each other in like a grid, like locked together, basically. That's the size of it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Roughly.
Oh, that's actually kind of good. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's mappable keys. There's, you get the pen with the stand, and then in the stand there's other pen tips, so that if your pen tip gets worn away, you can swap it out. There's 2 mappable things on the actual pen.
Yeah, see, like that sounds nice, and it sounds like something I'd like, because I'd love to make like pixel art for games when I develop them or something. But at the same time, like annotating notes on that would be pretty cool. But something that registers when I write my notes out.
Yeah, you see, if I didn't have either a drawboard PDF or a drawing tablet, because I feel like I would not like to do it with a mouse. Imagine like trying to write notes and annotate with the mouse, like, you know. Because even I do sample questions on the computer with the drawing tablet, like a blank page. I just open it up and do the question. So I don't just annotate, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I didn't have those tools, I'd have to write them out. I wouldn't be able to just, you know, read it and learn it from a PDF, or, you know, even just drag and drop it into a Word document and make certain words read. I wouldn't be able to do that. I like being able to, you know, interact with the
I get that. Right? I think we're coming to the same point. It's just I like to actually have the physical copy of it as well. So I have like folders for each module that I take with like notes in them. Whereas if I just had the folders on my computer, I don't think I'd look through them half as much.
I see what you mean about the folders. Yeah, thankfully, like
I guess you could just print them out at the very end after you annotate them digitally.
Yeah, I will say one problem though is that the lecture material is all in one. So if you want to find something quickly, you have to like Control F, and any mention of it will show up. So if I was looking for the mean, I'd get like, you know, hundreds of results for it, because, you know, it's mentioned a lot in statistics. So that's the only problem, I will say. But if you remember the section that you're at, you can just go straight to it, or the page, either way. But yeah, so I've used that for studying a lot recently.
You could probably add bookmarks to your PDF or something like that. Like like a table of contents maybe, or something.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to. But yeah, nothing really new other than that. Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, well,
I haven't gotten up to much. Level 5 nearly.
Right, yeah, actually we might as well address that. Like, I know, was our last episode the Lockdown 2 title? Or we addressed
Lockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo,
right. But so we addressed last time we did the episode that the whole country was going into Ireland's level 3, which is basically like every day is normal, but there's a lot more restrictions on like where you can go socially. And now Ireland is issuing level 5, which means it's essentially the lockdown that everyone got back in March and April. It is, sorry, it's not essentially, it is. And it's going to happen for 6 weeks, which is, I'm not a fan of it. I have my opinions, and I'm not going to get into it just because
we have another topic.
Yeah.
Is it guaranteed?
Yes.
Oh.
We're going into it effectively tomorrow at 12 midnight.
Effective immediately. Yeah,
which
no, I mean, I haven't seen anyone since I came back home for college, so I don't really. Well, I saw my friend Alex, but that's because he was moving to Luxembourg. I had to see him, but like,
yeah,
I have not met up with anybody else. So, you know, it kind of sucks that, you know, the whole country's going into lockdown because
and
people can't stay inside.
Nothing,
but
I mean, we can get into it another time. Maybe we can see how it goes after a week of being in it next week.
Oh, yeah.
That's
gonna be. I'll be here for you. Don't worry.
Well, I suppose without further ado, we should probably address the actual documentary at hand.
The elephant in the room.
The social dilemma. Right. Okay. So general thoughts to begin with. I guess we can just go over. I guess I'll start.
Go ahead.
Okay. When I was first going into watching this documentary, I was thinking, oh no. I saw it about 2 weeks before I watched it. Like, I saw it, I saw a thumbnail of it on Netflix, and I specifically didn't watch it because I was like, this is either A, gonna make me feel shit about myself, or B, just be an absolute, like, drill into my brain of everything you do is bad for you, right? And although both of those were the outcome, partially, like, it was a lot better. It was done fantastic compared to what I thought it would have been. It was an amazing documentary in terms of how it was done, just mainly because I'm very interested in the topic at hand. So when they brought on a bunch of people to do interviews, and they were all like the founder of VR, the founder of the Infinite Scroll, the founder of the Facebook like button, those kind of people, like big. Now they aren't big names, but they're big people technically, because they're behind big features and big tech.
Yeah.
It was nice just to see, because it's, people that have built their life and their life's earnings and everything around these features, see how they feel, and if they feel responsible for everything. And I just thought the takeaway was really good, because it didn't force me, didn't force me to make any changes to my life. Like, I felt like I should use my phone less, but it didn't make me feel like bad about myself, I guess. After watching it thoroughly, I just feel like it made me rethink everything that goes on, but it didn't make me change anything. And I like that, because I like being exposed to the knowledge, but not forced to make an immediate choice on anything.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well summed up by the title and the way people react, and the way even the people who were being interviewed react, which was, I know these things are going on. I know that I'm being sold to shareholders and companies, and I know my data is being given, but I still get caught on my phone. I still scroll for hours. And that's the kind of thing, is that, like, we're conscious of this happening,
but it's so addictive we can't make a change.
But it just happens, and you don't really care. You're like, so what? Like,
I'm not even sure. Like, addictive is definitely a term to address it, right? But it's partially at fault due to that everyone uses one, right? And what I mean by that is, like, I've tried, and this, I've done like these kind of detoxes from certain social medias where I won't use them, and I'll delete them for like periods at a time. To, like, I deleted Snapchat. I've deleted that app so many times to not use it for like several days.
A lot of the times were when Fortnite updates were coming out. And
that time I deleted it for endgame spoilers, yeah. But there was other times where I deleted all my social medias and didn't use any of them for the week.
Just WhatsApp.
Yeah, just WhatsApp, which I don't technically count as a social media. I don't find myself scrolling through WhatsApp.
It's just internet texting, so
yeah. So I did all that, and I felt great about myself, but I didn't necessarily feel left out, but I really did at the same time, because it's not like anyone comes and has a conversation with you outside of social media. It's still everyone communicates through it, so you can't detach without being detached from society. You can't. Like, very true. You can't. It's mutually inclusive. Like, you can't go, I'll just take a break from social media. You're taking a break from everyone. That's the equivalent of going out now and living on a mountain alone, because like you don't get anything. You don't get any information. No one comes up to contact you. No one checks up on you. They can't.
Yeah, but like, let's say you didn't have my number, and I was like, I'm going on a detox, or I just left. I wasn't on Discord, wasn't on Snapchat, wasn't on any like gaming platform to where you could text me. I was doing nothing. I just detached, and if I was offline, on games. If I was on, I would be offline. Like, you wouldn't be able to text me. Like, you would never be able to contact me and be like, oh, we're recording a podcast, oh, do you want to hop on, oh, do you want to talk, oh, blah 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 blah. If something important happened, the only thing people use is social media. Like, if you didn't watch the news, you would not know about level 5. Simple as, like, you just wouldn't know.
And I think an example of that is, like, let's say your friend gets news, good or bad, doesn't matter, gets news, and they share it into your communal group chat, let's say, or something, or he texts each one of his friends, like his close circle, individually. He'll do that through one social media, generally Snapchat for our age group. It could be Instagram, it could be even Messenger, right? Messenger to push, but that's where they'll text you, right?
Big push.
And it's not like, it's when they send that out, they're not going, I can't wait to send this to Billy, Bob, Jeremy, Dan. Like, they don't think like that. They think, okay, I'm gonna send this to my friends, and then they scroll through their friends list, and they pick the friends that they know that are, like, they pick their close circle friends. So when they send that out, and let's say you're not there because you've detoxed, and you're not in their recents to send a message or something, they're not thinking about you. It's not, they weren't thinking about anybody else, so it's not like they're being bad on you. It's just you're out of the loop, literally.
Yeah, I only think about who I'm sending it to when I go to send it.
Exactly.
I'd be like, oh, will I send it to them? Nah, they probably won't find it funny, or they just, or maybe I just don't want to bother telling them, and then I'd like send it to you or something. But like, yeah, I get what you mean. There's a lot of things that like you don't really think about it till you see them, and if you don't see them, why would you bother trying to reach out? And if I did it right, I couldn't go out to the lads or knock on someone's door because I live on a road of old people and I don't really know anybody from my town, I guess you could call it. Yeah, a town really. I only know people from like the city. So if I want to hang out with someone, I need to text them and sort it out. I wouldn't be able to just knock on their door. So when it comes to hanging out with people, it's even just like that. It's difficult, and the fact that we've resorted to only using social media to make plans and do that, I mean, I don't know if it's really a bad thing, because it kind of takes some of the questions out where oh, I'll be at your place at 8, and then they're 10 minutes late, and then you're like, where the hell are they? They'd probably just text you, oh, I'm 10 minutes late, but they used to not be able to do that. Like, so I can see where it's more useful and less useful than it would have been before. But in terms of what's it called? The documentary?
Yeah.
This is one note I have. I don't know if you felt the same way. The part of the documentary that was like a film, like the sections
the
that were
little
like
segments
movies.
they put their little short films that put what the developers were saying into an example, I guess.
Yeah. So it was like a continuous story, but it was interrupted by the interviews for 10 minutes, and then it would get back into the story, and then interrupted,
very
and
well
so
done,
on and so
opinion.
forth. I think the film was overly over exaggerated.
Yeah, I think that was definitely touching on the dramatic side of a documentary, and then but because the way it was segmented, it brought me back every time the developers were talking about something, because they'd just be like, it would bring you back to kind of reality, whereas the documentary would be very, very serious. Yeah. And
also, like, interviews like that, for some reason their mics are always like perfect, so when it starts to like fade back into the interview, it's like, oh yeah, that was nice. But I think the actual acting and the film part was way too over exaggerated. Nobody is that insane or that reliant. Like that time where he was in this isn't really a spoiler, but there's, as I said, no spoilers. When he's in the cafeteria and he's talking to his friend about the girl he likes, and then something happens to where he goes on his phone, and then they're both just on their phone, not talking to them. Like, you wouldn't do that if you were with a friend. You might take out your phone but continue talking, but you'd put it back away and talk to them. I've never seen, and then like when your one like smashed the thing, I'm sure that might happen in some households, but like that made no sense.
I think that's something to do with the age, especially.
Yeah, but then as well when the teenage guy, when he was on the phone, and the cute girl came up to him, he just was like, yeah, okay, and went back on his phone. Or actually, he said nothing. He said nothing. Nobody does that. Like, it was done like too much.
There were elements that were dramatic, and there were elements that were accurate. Like an accurate example would be like when he went downstairs to get drink or whatever before, because he was thirsty at the middle of the night, and he found his phone, and he got his phone, and then he went and stayed on it all night. That was realistic. Yeah. I can imagine literally the age of that child that broke that phone box. I can imagine that happening with a majority number of people that age, because they're given something. We've never had something that addictive. We don't know what it's like at that age.
True.
Because TikTok.
I mean, I would have
Snapchat
thrown a fit if my Xbox was taken from me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, but like social media it's like, especially in the kids, like I guess, yeah, it's I can see a kid doing it, but like I guess say if they got the guy to do it or something, like to smash it, I would have been like, yeah, no, that's unrealistic, definitely.
Yeah. I just felt like there were parts where I was like, come on, really? Like, that's not even realistic. Like, nobody acts like that. So you're trying to, like, make this thing look like, you know, big evil, talk all these bad things about social media and blah, blah, blah. And then you're, like, doing this to, like, you know, enforce your point. Like, no, you're just making it worse. I was with you until you showed this, you know?
Yeah.
But there were parts I was like, okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, that part where he went downstairs and he got a notification makes sense.
I know exactly what it feels like as well, because after the detox, right, I'd download Snapchat and I'd have an unusual number of notifications because, you know, I wouldn't be opening them 24/7. And going through them and just talking to people and sending the Snapchats, the literal rush of dopamine and serotonin, I can't even describe it. Like, it puts you in such a good mood for that initial point. And after experiencing detoxing like that, I know exactly how addictive it is. It doesn't.
I was addicted to.
Yeah, go on.
I was addicted to the streaks.
Yeah,
you know, like Snapchat streaks. I was addicted to them. Like, if I was grounded and my phone was taken, I would go, "Oh, before I leave for school, can I just send out streaks?" Like, it was that bad. Oh, you know, when I get home, can I send out streaks? Yeah, I know you didn't have to do it twice a day, but, you know, I was grounded. I tried my best. But, like, those things I was addicted to. I gave them up, I think, 3-ish, maybe more years ago now. And I am so happy I did.
Yeah.
It, like, completely just took apart, like, such a... It wasn't even stressful, but it just took it away. And I was like, I don't care about streaks anymore.
You remove the addictive feature. That streaks feature is literally an addictive feature. Like, they put that in so you use the app every day.
And I was just thinking, like, you know what? I'm happy I just stopped it because I feel so much better that I don't have to consistently send all snaps to all these people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a lot better. But what I will say is that this isn't in my notes, but I thought about it there. Is you know, in the film part where is it film or film?
Either.
Anyway, where, you know, they were controlling him in the, you know, 3 twins or whatever, or triplets, and, you know, they're blah blah blah.
The algorithm.
Oh, let's send him a notification.
Yeah, the algorithm. I think that's what that was depicting.
Yeah. So, one thing is that was also over exaggerated. Like, that doesn't, like, they can't, like, some apps can just send a notification, but they can't force you to text me. So that makes no sense. But anyway, I will say that in the last week since watching it, when I get notifications, I do think, like, is this to get me on my phone?
Right, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
It is in my head. Like, I do think about it, but the thing is, it's usually the notifications that I don't care about anyway. Like, you know, I don't know, this person posted on their story for the first time in a while. I don't care about those anyways, so I just swipe them away.
Yeah, I have.
But now I'm like,
everything.
Is that to get me on?
Yeah, you think about it.
I was like, that's to get me on, to get me onto the app. And scroll.
I think the idea that they were going for with the algorithm wasn't actually to mean in a literal sense that this is what the algorithm does. It's to mean that they try every bit of data they can parse from you. They will try and utilize it to get you to spend more time on your phone so they can sell you for more to different companies and shareholders.
Yeah. That's
literally, like, I think that's what I was going for, because, like, with TikTok and stuff, the whole algorithm is crazy, and it's unprecedented, to be completely honest. Like, there's no other app where you can have 0 followers and get, like, 1 million views.
Now, you know when you go on TikTok and your For You page is done for you.
Yeah.
It's just done. They don't, like, throw them in as you're scrolling.
No.
Because you could scroll down 5 and, you know, they'd all, like, I've gotten this glitch recently where it just scrolls down like 5 TikToks, and, like, real quick, and I'm like, what the hell? Let's scroll back up. But like, yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, you can't just like throw in one if it's already like loaded. It didn't make sense.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
an on-load thing.
And same with Instagram. Actually, do they throw in things that you'd like? Because they're done like as the documentary showed. Because and as the interviewees actually said
Instagram
they
doesn't
do.
have a chronological order. They removed that, and that's actually one of the worst features that they've added, but best features for them because it shows you what you want to see, so you keep scrolling rather than like what comes up in order.
So they more do it while it's loading rather than as you're scrolling.
But it's not a load per post; it's a kind of a load per chunk. So they load like an array of 20 posts, let's say,
Okay.
depending.
Yeah, I was like, but yeah, I suppose they're not. Yeah, they got rid of that thing a long time ago. I was just curious as to how that worked, but
yeah, and I've become more aware.
In terms of,
I knew that TikTok had like an algorithm, right? So I knew it had like, I knew it had an algorithm, and I actually bent it my own way when I started using it there about 3 months ago. I was like, I'm just gonna start. I was gonna say Googling. I'm gonna start searching these terms like computer science, programming, computers, all this stuff, and I'm gonna search them in, and I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna look at the hashtag, and I'm gonna like a load of them, and I'm gonna view them and stuff. And then I started getting, one every now and then, and I'd make sure I'd watch it, interact with it every single possible way, and I kept getting more, and now I get so much of them. I only get like computers, and it's exactly what I want on my For You page. So I'm playing the algorithm technically, but then again, like it's a two-way street there. It's a win-win because I'm seeing what I want to see, rather than what would keep me on for longer. But regardless, I'm staying on because it's what I want to see, not something.
Yeah, and like if you like videos of all girls dancing, that's all you'll get.
Right.
You only get girls dancing.
It's liking, right? But it's also how long you do the video for.
I'd imagine.
Because there's videos that I haven't liked, like I guess one would be. Oh, no, because sometimes like this is okay. You probably haven't seen this, but you might now that I'm describing it to you. There's this dude, this British guy with long curly ginger hair, and he makes these weird niche jokes about like the British government and all this stuff to do with coronavirus. And I never like it, but I always watch it because I want to know where it goes, and then I scroll and I get it every time I go on. I get one of his videos.
Yeah, I started getting this like caveman looking guy where he just like makes knives out of rocks and bones.
Oh, I got that the other day, but I wasn't too interested.
I liked it, and I got another one there yesterday. Like I get sometimes I just get random things. Like I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be on this part of TikTok, but okay.
Yeah, and then I can always definitely tell it's testing the waters. Like
I always interact with car TikTok, whatever it may be, whatever you call it, and I very rarely get them. Every time a car thing comes up, if it's like drifting or anything like that, I'm always liking, commenting, everything. But
it will take a while.
Yeah, but as far as like data goes, like with them collecting the data and seeing what you'd like, I don't really care.
Yeah, but you see, like yeah, that's kind of it, right? It's like, oh, I don't care what the data they take of me, but it's more of how they use it against you, not in terms of selling it, but like to keep you on for longer. That kind of bugs me a little bit, just because like they should really address that. Like it should be addressed.
It's a bit scummy, but like I don't really care. Like, okay, sure, you're a businessman, you have to do businessy things. Yeah, it's kind of bad that you have to kind of take people's data to do so, but I can see where they're getting their ideas from to do this and why it works so well. But unless my data was given to friends and family and all that stuff, and they just got to like see everything I've ever done, whether like what videos I've liked, what how long I've watched this, or I know you couldn't really like understand it because it's all data, like it's not just laid out to be easily read, but that would kind of be like, all right, like that's a bit mean, like but if it's like sharing a conversation or you've had with someone and then just like sharing it to someone else that would get a kick out of it, like that's just, it's like, okay, come on, But when it comes to like corporations having my data, like, yeah, go ahead. If it makes your business work better and I get better stuff from the app for it, then go ahead.
Yeah, it all depends.
Yeah.
It all depends on like what company's taking my data.
That's also true. It depends. Like the big social media giants right now, all of them I don't mind too much. Facebook is the only one I don't care, or I do care about. I don't want Facebook using my stuff. I
don't know why people care so much about Facebook though. Like, where do they
like
sell their
about
data?
About using it, or about their data?
About their data policies and stuff. Like, they were the first company that people found out that social media takes all your data, and I think that's why the stigma is built. But I'm more afraid of things like TikTok that, you know, are outletted to Chinese data centers and stuff, because, you know, they can use their data to extrapolate like the way society reacts to different things and use that against, you know, they're stealing intellectual property essentially.
Okay, Trump.
It's just I'm sorry, there's a lot of malicious intent behind it. Like, have you heard of the China want to set up, you know, the Black Mirror episode? Have you watched? Yeah, there's a Black Mirror episode where it's like the point system, and they live in a box, and they you know, during the day they go and cycle on their bike and they gain points or whatever.
Never seen it.
Right, basically it's like a video game IRL, and China tried to implement it, or is trying, and things. Yeah, so like they don't use their data well. Like, they use it for like malicious intent or stuff to benefit just the 1% kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't like sit on the fence when it comes to that kind of thing. But for Facebook,
yep,
where's their data go? I'm actually unfamiliar. Like,
I'm not too sure, but just based off I don't know, it seems that like Facebook doesn't necessarily, you know, especially when they were found out for it, keep their data safe. I think that was the biggest thing. Is that not necessarily that they're selling it,
they have no integrity.
You know, they're just not keeping it safe, and that's the worst problem. You know, because, you know, then somebody malicious can take it. You know,
yeah, I understand.
Taking it is a lot worse than selling it, because you can choose who you can sell to, but you can't choose who takes it from you. So I think that's the biggest part. And also just Facebook is, you know, you don't use it, I don't use it. Facebook is just ugh. Won't even let you delete your account, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Facebook just for a couple of reasons, and it just happens to be that they also have all your data, and they also got in trouble for it, so.
A lot of companies have nowadays.
Yeah, but I will say that TikTok is definitely one that I would stay on for hours at a time.
Yeah, like, it's not like I make any changes to my usage of the app because of where I know my data is going. It's just I don't like it.
Yeah. As well as, like, I'm kind of just working through my notes here because we're kind of getting through it, and we're kind of finished with the whole data thing anyway. But as far as likes, now I don't know your stand on this, and I know in the movie part of this documentary there was, you know, the little girl was getting the most.
Yeah, I understood that completely, because emotional. I put myself in the shoes of the girl, and I was like, just because, like, I know how my younger brother operates with social media, right? And he's used it for a couple of years now, so he's been using it since about that girl's age. And yeah. I know exactly from my own experience when I was like, you know, 13, 14, and his experience, I know exactly what that little girl is feeling. And that's what made me feel it was accurate. That's why.
I think that part was accurate enough. I think it would have been, not that people his age don't experience it, but I felt like it would have been a little less accurate if they made your man have that problem.
Yeah, like, cause to be completely honest, like, that he's what, our age, a little bit older even.
Yeah, he seemed a bit level-headed. I don't think he.
Like, yeah, if someone said like you look bad in a selfie, I don't know why he'd post like a selfie or something on Instagram.
He'd be like, oh, okay.
Like, lol.
Yeah, lol, poggers.
Yeah.
But I think I do think it was quite accurate, especially for a girl at that age. Makes sense. But it just, personally then, to bring it to a personal note, I don't know what your stand on it, but I don't mind that much because first of all, I don't get many anyway. I get anywhere between like 100 to 150.
Oh, what, like Instagram post. Right, yeah, so you're about double me already.
Yeah, but like if I get 80 likes or if I get 50 likes, if I get 50, I'd be like, what's the story? Is this just like a really bad picture? Because like usually, likes indicate how much people actually like something, like on YouTube and stuff. If there's a lot of dislikes, aka no likes on Instagram, you might think, was this just a really bad picture? Whatever it may be. But I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm sad, nobody likes me, I got no pictures. Also, I get no comments. Like, maybe one person will comment every 3 pictures. That's about it. So, like, there's no hate comments either to bring me down. And if there was, like, there used to be a couple, like, if I was falling out with someone, they might, like, with someone's friend, they might be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and I'd be like, okay, just delete it and block them. I don't care, like, it doesn't bother me. I don't know what your stance is though.
Yeah, well, see, my stance is I used to care a lot. I used to care a lot when right in the middle of secondary school, I'd say, the peak of like everyone using social media and Instagram, at least in my social circle. I used to care a lot. I used to care about the likes. I used to care how many I got. What else I used to care about? Just kind of, yeah, just the likes, I guess. And I used to care about those a lot and the interactions with it. And it's weird to say I've grown out of it because I'm not that much older, but my mental state has developed beyond caring about it. Not like developed like, oh, I'm better. It's just I've moved on from that thing because, one, I don't use Instagram like a lot or any other like-based platform, really. I use Snapchat and it's not based on anything. I use Reddit, which is based on anything, but I know that social media platform is a hive mind, so I don't care. Like, it's completely momentum based on Reddit. Like, if I got 4 upvotes in the first minute, I get 4,000 upvotes. And if I got 4 upvotes in the first 20 minutes, I get 4. It's just, or if I got a downvote, I get downvoted by everyone else. It's a hive mind thing, so I don't care. But with Instagram, I've just started not caring, I guess. And the fact that they removed seeing how many likes someone else got was a huge thing for me. Not initially, but in the long run, I just noticed that it helped kick the addiction to seeing the number of likes for me personally.
Yeah,
I don't think the likes are a good thing. Like, to share publicly, I think it's the way Instagram does it is cool, I guess, because it's all on your own and you don't need to share the number if you don't want to. But I think it's a nice feature, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I don't post that much, that's why there's kind of a fluctuation between 100 to 150. But and like, I don't get the comments. That doesn't bum me out because I want people to say, oh, fun night, or oh, you look good, or oh, blah 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 blah. Like, I just want,
I must say though, like, I have the same stance as I did on Instagram, but I have moved to Reddit. I think that's the way I've gone, because like, it's not as extreme. So the highs and lows are actually a lot higher and lower, I guess, in terms of Reddit. But my emotion towards those aren't like as extreme. So because generally what happens is, if I post a meme that I've either made up or 80% of the time found somewhere else and posted, I'll get like thousands of upvotes. And I'm like, this is sick. But I don't get gassed because I'm like, I stole this meme, I don't care. I just wanted to put it here because it's more suited to the subreddit or whatever. But if I make a detailed, caring post, and I have done with like programming subreddits and stuff, and it gets no interaction, I'm like, oh, that hurts. But that's not because it's not getting likes, it's because it's not getting interaction, and I specifically am looking for interaction. Like, if I'm posting a thing being like, this is how you do this, like, I'm giving some helpful tips or something, and it gets no interaction at all, I'm like, damn. But that's all I do. That's all I do. I go, damn. 2 minutes later, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I think I just think there's a thing that I'm like, oh, I want comments, but I'm not like depressed over it. I'm not like nobody commented. Let's delete
Yeah,
it.
I guess I don't get the negative side of it because if I post something, right, number one, it's not that easy. It takes a while and it's out of my muscle memory to go into my posts on Reddit to check like how they're doing. So the only time I'll know how they're doing is if either A, Reddit tells me, oh look, your post got 100 upvotes, check to see how it's doing, or someone comments, right?
Yeah. Same.
So if someone comments and or I get upvotes, I'll check it and I'll go, nice, sick, and I get the positive reinforcement, I guess, and I reply to them and it's a nice interaction. But if I don't get it, I don't get it, so it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
I guess that's
I posted an error question, like a help thing, on FL Studios Reddit, and I got 313 upvotes.
That's good.
For posting an error and asking for help. I don't understand that, but, whatever. I'll take it.
It's momentum. It's all momentum.
Yeah, but I guess, yeah.
The like and dislike thing and having that be visible. If the like and dislike buttons didn't have a visible number on Reddit, you can choose to not have one. But if it's not visible, if it wasn't visible like platform wide, I think it would make a big difference to how things go. Because having that number there influences the hive mind 1,000 times over.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like if I see some post and it auto hides the post if it has a number of, it auto hides the comment if it has a number of negative downvotes, I guess. So I usually click on that to go, oh, what happened here? kind of thing, and then I go into it being like, this dude's an idiot because he got a load of downvotes. Not
it hides the comment. What do you mean the comment?
So
like which comment?
You can collapse comments on Reddit in like threads and stuff. So you tap the name and it just shows you the name, not the contents. It does that, and then I play the name like minus 26 votes or whatever.
Yeah.
So if it auto hit it, or if it just didn't hide it, or if it didn't show it or whatever, I don't think I think I'd have more of an opinion going into it rather than being biased, I guess.
I've never seen a minus number.
Yeah, I browse a lot of memes or Reddits and stuff, so
I only ever see like upvotes. I've never seen downvotes, even on any Reddit, like
damn
subreddit.
Lucky you.
Sorry, subreddit, I suppose. I've just never seen them. The number. Yeah. I don't know if it's just the number doesn't.
I guess I do have one thing to talk about. Actually, it would be Twitter. I've made a big change in my Twitter usage over the past year, I'd say. So I used to use Twitter heavily, and it was all Fortnite oriented. Because, number one, Fortnite would tweet the patch notes. They don't do that anymore. Fortnite would tweet this, Fortnite would tweet that. All the Fortnite pros would have tweets. I'd read all those, yada, yada, yada. And then Twitter just started giving me such a toxic mindset. And it was nothing but toxicity on that platform. Like, literally, not even towards me. Like, I've had my fair share of Twitter beef and had it been pointless, and it's kind of annoyed me for the day. But besides that, you'd like click on, oh, KSI tweeted, oh, the song's out next Friday, top comment, didn't ask. And you're like, oh, all right, that's funny. But like when you see it every single time, you're like, ugh, and it like annoys you. And it's not that they're insulting you or they're insulting them. It's that it annoys you because it's stupid, and like that's all Twitter is. Twitter's just like trying to be a meme in hopes that you get that several 100,000 liked tweet that gets on Reddit or something.
I think
so. I've made the branch off it.
Yeah, I think social media, like especially some of them, can be very toxic, and I think Twitter's kind of gotten a name for itself for being very toxic. Toxic as a whole, but then the thing about Twitter as well is, you've got different kinds of Twitter, which I never understood.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the way Instagram works, but
you've got black Twitter, you've got LGBT Twitter, you've got like women Twitter, you've got all this stuff, you've got like horoscope Twitter, and I never understood how you just getting like specific, like it just must be who you follow, and
it's an algorithm based on what you like, because it gives you a lot of suggestions. Like I still use Twitter, like I'll use it for about 5 minutes out of the day, like every 2 days, every other day. And I'll go on to be like 20 notifications, and it'll be like recommended for you, and I'll just try different things, and I click through all of them, and sometimes it'd interact, sometimes I wouldn't, and that's how it knows.
I think I I think I turned them off because I used to get them all the time, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care that you think I want to check out what's hot in Ireland right now.
Oh yeah, I don't get
I
those.
don't
I
care.
literally just get random tweets from random people that have popped off.
Even that though, like, yeah. But the thing is that I had notifications on. I still do for some YouTubers, because they might tweet that they're doing something or that they want something for a video.
I guess, yeah.
And recently I've turned, so you know Bitwit, don't you?
I do.
I turned his Twitter notifications off, and a long time ago I turned Jev's ones off because I would get his YouTube and his Twitter at the same time.
Right.
Like too many notifications. I still have Will and Ease on. The thing is, like 90% of the time, they just tweet stuff that I don't really care about, and it's like I don't care. So the only thing I go onto Twitter for is to check my notifications. I'm in a group chat, but I have it muted, so every now and then I just go into it to get rid of the notification number, and then I might browse for like
5 minutes,
2 to 5 minutes, and then I'm off again, and that's it.
Yeah, so
I usually go on just to take away the notification.
Yeah, so basically, like, what I have is I have all the notifications of individuals off, and the only notifications I get are the recommended ones. I just left them on just cause. I don't know why. I just did. I could disable them. I'm thinking of disabling them, but then I'll just never use Twitter if it's disabled. And like, it's not like a bad thing to not use Twitter. It's just sometimes I get good crack out of it. Sometimes it's just a step away from other social medias. It really is a mind of its own. Like,
yeah, it's just like Twitter and Reddit are kind of like social media's cousin. Like,
yeah, like I've made Reddit
social media's weird cousin.
I've made Reddit into like a fat meme page and just stuff I like. That's one thing I did actually that I should talk about. Is I used to follow a lot of subreddits that didn't necessarily make me feel good. If you get me, like there'd be like one example I didn't follow, but is a good subreddit for that would be like today I fucked up or / am I the asshole, where you read these like horrible stories, and then you can have your opinion about it or whatever. But it's just like the horrible story to begin with is something I don't need to see every other post.
Oh yeah, I got recommended like the confession subreddit.
Yeah,
or something.
so
I got some horrible things about people like, with really bad experiences when they were younger and just like, or now, and it's like, oh, why am I reading this?
Yeah, exactly. So I've gotten rid of all those, and I started following things like r/aw, r/happy, r/wholesome memes, just a meme page. Yeah. I started following those, and it makes me feel better. And that's the transition I made of social media, is I'm choosing what I want to see because I'm allowed to.
Yeah, I usually follow this, or I join the subreddits or whatever that I'm of a game that I'm playing at the time. The only problem with that is then, like, when I stop playing that game, I'll still get them on my homepage. Like, for the longest time, I was still getting Rainbow Six Siege stuff on my homepage, and I didn't even play it.
Yeah.
But it was just there. And I was like, I don't even play this. Stop.
I mean, I haven't played Escape from Tarkov. I played it last week, and I hadn't played it since about May or June. And I still browse through all those posts. I've unfollowed the Rainbow Six one. It took me a while to unfollow it though, and I hadn't played it for quite a while.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't play the games all the time. Like GTA, I don't play that all the time. But I'm still in the subreddit, and well, I was playing it a lot when I joined. But now I'm still on it, and if I'm scrolling through and I see a video or a picture, I'll look at it, watch it, whatever, because I still like GTA. Whereas Rainbow Six is like, it's been so long and it's so different to every other game that I play. I know GTA is different to a lot of games as well.
But GTA is a bit different though, it's a bit unique.
Yeah. It's a bit unique, and it's a bit, more, I don't know. It lasts long. I'll tell you that much. It lasts a long time. So you don't get sick of it as easily, personally at least. So yeah, my Reddit goes in between, why am I seeing this, to this is all for me. So there's no happy in between. So yeah, that's all I really have on the Reddit matter. I suppose if you have no other notes on social, then we could wrap it up.
Yeah. No, I'm completely finished, to be completely honest with you.
I've got a life pro tip.
You know, I saw one earlier. Not earlier, the other day, and I never screen capped it, and I really should have. And you know what? This could well be that one because we both browse the subreddit to find things.
Is it about a car?
I saw a few, so maybe we'll see.
Anyway, so to preface, my dad actually told me this recently, because I've been learning to drive, and he told me months ago. He told me this, and I just sat there and I was like, oh yeah, he told me this, but I never thought of it as like, weekly dose of life advice. We forgot to say it. This is the weekly dose of life advice. Anyway, if your car turn signal or indicator starts blinking more rapidly than normal, there's a good chance that the indicator on the other side is burnt out.
Oh, cool. No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so if your right one's going really fast, it's because there's too much power being put to it or something, so it goes faster, or the car is smart enough to be like, hey, your other one's out, I'm going to make this really fast to annoy you.
Yeah, I think it's down to the circuit faulting. It's getting like twice the electricity or something. I don't know. I'm no electrician or engineer, so.
Yeah, my dad was saying that it can be kind of hard to hear because, if you don't know how it is normally, maybe you wouldn't know. And if you're driving, you're not necessarily paying attention to the.
Yeah.
You're trying to concentrate on the road, so I just thought it was a good tip, good bit of advice.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean,
weekly dose, dose of advice weekly. That's what we call it. We call it the dose of advice weekly. That's the new segment.
Sure.
So, yeah, sure. Yeah, I suppose that's really it. It's been a while since we've plugged ourselves, I think. So, check us out. Link in the description of whatever platform you're listening on, watching on, whatever it may be, in the description. Yep. Check it out. linkt.re/chatlab podcast.
Chatlab.
Is it /?
Just /chatlab. It's the link in the description of whatever you're listening to. It will take us to all our social medias. Make sure to check us out everywhere. We are starting to post on Twitter, and we post on YouTube on top of Spotify and iTunes.
And we've got a Patreon. Very cheap. Very good.
And a website if you feel weird. Want to use that.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd listen on the website, but if you want to do that, go ahead. Yeah. We won't complain. Yeah, so I guess that's it, huh? What episode is this? 15?
I'm not fully sure, but
episode 15 over and out. Bye.
Bye.